There we are. We are live. Another edition of TigerBait Live. A lot to discuss. LSU women's basketball tip off the first round of the Baton Rouge Regional at 4:30 on Friday. The baseball team will be in College Station, number one ranked, first SEC weekend, taking on Texas A&M. Number one versus number 11. Matt McMahon hits the recruiting trail. Will Wade hired at McNeese. What else we got? Well, recruiting in high gear. We got the kickoff time and start time for LSU versus USC to start the 24 season. Another Sunday night game in Las Vegas. And I think I might make that trip. I think a lot of people are pointing to that one. And Buddy Songy's hitting golf balls in Tiger Stadium earlier tonight. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show, but welcome in, buddy.
That is the last thing we need to talk about tonight. It was on my bucket list, and we'll talk about it later on in the show. Really cool idea. But, hey, you missed a couple of things after that long array of what
softball, it's gymnastics.
But it's a good time to be a Tiger fan.
It's 3 straight 10s in gymnastics.
3 straight 10s in one meet by Haley Bryant there at the SEC Championships. Saturday night, Florida the 1 seed, LSU the 2 seed. Battled a lot of injuries, coming back, incredible. Haley Bryant is classy and outstanding as it gets. So, Lady Tigers and Jay Clark. Softball, they're not crazy. Kim Mulkey and the Lady Tigers are playing in the 4:30 range after Michigan UNLV. So, what they've done is move back the start of their Friday night series against Tennessee at 7 o'clock. And as you said, with Matt McMahon and men, everybody happy that got put to bed. Now we got to see how many he can retain, how many he can sign up on NIL, and how many he gets in the transfer portal. 3 key things. We'll wait over at McNeese. We'll get into that. And we do have some spring football tidbits after watching some of that film. Folks, that first day, I apologize. I was not on my game with the report. It's early.
Nah, but it was good. It was great.
I know, but I like to give a lot of content. I like to talk about Toviano and J.K. Johnson starting at corners. These are 2 names you never heard of. So give us a little time. We'll get more out there. But it's an exciting time to be a Tiger fan right now.
Absolutely. Guys, of course, we're brought to you each and every week by Pride Roofing, the official roofing company of TigerBait.com. We'll talk about them a little bit later on in the show. 855-PRIDE-16. They're going to continue to run that promo till the end of time. Call them up, say you heard about it on TigerBait, and they're going to pay for you to have free TigerBait Premium free for 1 year. And as always, if you enjoy the show, please hit that like button. It's free. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm, and you guys have done a fantastic job. I think in the next 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to hit 18,000 YouTube subscribers. So big thanks to all of you guys for helping us grow our YouTube channel. And if you're not already a subscriber to our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button and notification bell. We got a lot coming your way in the next few days. I'm going to be out there tomorrow. We're going to have practice footage of Mulkey's team out on the practice court. I love tournament time because we get different access that the NCAA mandates for tournaments. Excuse me. We're going to have press conferences for all the schools involved in the Baton Rouge Regional, player interviews, and it's going to be a fun time. Of course, last year, same thing, but the difference was there was COVID. All those rules last year that were there are not there this year, so looking forward to the next few days, the next 4 days in the Maravich Assembly Center. And I think you were saying, or somebody told me, they're close to a sellout if they're not already.
Yeah, no doubt about it. By the way, I'm going to connect the dots a little bit with LSU women's basketball and the baseball team. But real quick, I got to ask you, you have been energized and really into it and done a great job ever since Coach Mulkey was hired and named the coach. You only got to go out and get Michaela Williams early. She's the best player in the country on the high school level coming in, going to help immediately next year. All-Americans galore coming in. But do you like and do you think this LSU fan base will embrace and endorse? It's us against the world, because the screaming left wacko idiots, and I don't know if it's because of the way she handled the Brittany Griner questions or whatever, but Jay Billis is saying, I'm going to pick him because I'm scared of Kim Mulkey. No, you're not scared. You respect her, Jay. You respect the job that she's done and won 3 natties. And you know LSU is going to be in the discussion moving forward. That being said, do you like this, and do you feel like that's more on a national basis that blew up?
They lose to Tennessee and they drop 5 spots in the poll. I mean, they're just looking for reasons to ding Kim Mulkey. And look, I'm sticking with Elite Eight. Need to get all 3 of the guards hitting to beat Indiana. Maybe they can get to a Final Four, but I'm gonna stick with Elite Eight for now. And that is a banner year. And with what she's got coming back next year, she keeps talking about it, and she's laying the groundwork. But I think she likes to under-promise and over-deliver. She does it every time. She's a great salesman. She knows what she's doing. And so we'll see.
Reminds me a lot of when Nick Saban was hired. Oh, by the way, old knee pad Paul Feinbaum, used to tear Nick Saban a new butt when he became the coach at LSU. Called him all those names that everybody coming from the Midwest. But they were fearful that Nick Saban would make LSU a winner, and people are fearful that Kim Mulkey is going to bring and ascend LSU to the top. Now, real quick on the baseball parallel. Number 1 in offense, number 1 in runs, number 1 in shutouts, number 1 in ERA, number 1 in defense, only 5 errors, but they have not played a lot of big-time competition. Going into A&M, first SEC Road Series, tremendous pitching matchup Friday night, but the weather could be an issue. And you've talked to Kendall and others, and it could be a really chilly night. So if you're going to A&M Friday night, bundle up, layer, gloves, the blankets.
Yeah, I think I reached out to Kendall Rogers this morning, and I was texting him while waiting for Jay Johnson, and he says they're going to have a great crowd at College Station, but the weather is going to take the spunk out of him. He thinks it's going to be nasty. I don't know if that's going to be the entire weekend, but certainly Friday night. And look, they know what the LSU's bringing in. You can rattle off the stats. I tuned into one of the shows on TexAgs this morning to see what they were saying, previewing the game. Of course, they're in the NCAA tournament in basketball, so that's where their focus is with their men. But Kenny Haynes with a super chat. Thank you for that, Kenny. Says, Mike, 2 things. Baseball needs to dominate the show. And what in the hell are you wearing? Well, I'm wearing a T-shirt and I'm wearing a nice vest that was sent to me by a friend. So representing his company.
But Shark?
Yeah, that's Tiger Shark.
Shark, good to see you as always. I got to tell you,
we're talking a lot of baseball.
Hey, we will get into baseball because it's going to be fun. And look, I think they're the real deal. Even though they haven't played as tough a schedule as they want, you asked Coach Johnson today about you really haven't been able to use all your relievers in the bullpen because they've had so many games that have been mercy ruled in 7 innings. But that all being said, I think this team is the real deal simply because they've got so much depth. Even when Tommy White couldn't play in the field, you saw they made decisions and great positions. I think that's one of the things that people didn't like about Matt McMahon. Some of his rotations and substitutions, but Jay Johnson and Wes Johnson, the best pitching coach in the world, they are on top of this thing, and only one thing can deter and stop them: injuries to the pitching staff, and they got a ton of depth there.
Yeah, I mean, you Buddy has Ben McDonald and Todd Walker and everybody on his show, and I know the things that they've been saying to him and all the great baseball we've seen in our lifetime at LSU and some great teams, national championship teams under Skip. I mean, when has there been any of those teams more dominant than this one in leading in the SEC play?
I don't remember 5 true freshmen coming in like, Brady Neal. This guy just made 18, and he's acting like he's 22, and an incredible catcher. The Bear, Jarrett Jones, hitting home runs. Now, look, he hit 4 straight
These
home
are all
runs.
super kids. Are you watching these interviews? They're fantastic people.
Ethan Fry, another guy. Paxton Kling, and I got to tell you, Mike's got a little funny story about Paxton Kling and a media member today.
Yeah, Cobble said, well, you know what, I forget how he was saying this. There doesn't look anything extraordinary about you or, like exceptional about you. And I'm like, man, this guy's like 6'1". He's got some quads on him.
210.
And it's like he's not. What's a baseball player? Look at little Brady. I mean, how tall is he?
Well, look,
I mean,
and then that's not even talking
I mean,
about,
they're all not going to be Tommy White, but yeah. But
between the portal and the recruits, though, I don't think Shark, myself, or you have seen this kind of depth across the board with pitching. And when you talk about best in the country, pitching, hitting, and defense, let's see if that carries over. But weather will be a factor this weekend on SEC Network.
How many of
Friday
you reply in the chat if you're heading to College Station? I don't know how easy the tickets are to get, but I'm assuming LSU fans are going to be there and is as big in numbers as they could get tickets.
SEC Network Friday night at 6.
Plus
Digital Network Saturday and Sunday, 2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday.
Yep. It's going to be a hell of a Friday for an LSU fan. If you're one of the folks that have started to follow women's basketball, or maybe you have been since the beginning. But yeah, you got a 4:30 tip-off for that one, and right when that one's over, you can watch LSU baseball. All right, guys, let's get to some of the comments. Gary Wynn says, "What's up, guys? Can't wait to see the spring game." Nurse Court says, "Hey, family. Glad to have you in, Nurse Court." Kenny Futch, good evening, Tiger Nation. Clay Rivers, hello, all. And Nurse Court says, "Since I'm starting at this pick of the team running on the field, I'm trying to find myself in my seats." Are you looking at one of those crowd shots? Phillips Clinton, let's rock and roll. Let's see. Scrolling down, guys. Yeah, Chance Babin. LSU baseball will have 3 chilly days in Aggieland. Hope we get the sweep. That'd be great to get a sweep.
Meatloaf, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I think. Yeah. Look, you'd love the sweep, but let's give it.
They're well coached. They're well, yeah.
Schlossnagel's done a great job over there, and they once again they really had a hell of a year. But by the way, back to the Nurse Court. Mike, you said you're going to be there. Can we get a TigerBait family get-together in Las Vegas? Huh? 2024? I think it'd be an awesome opportunity. So hopefully we'll work on that. Although we've got to do that in Tiger Stadium for 2024.
I've never been a gambler. It's just never.
Me either.
It's never appealed to me. So when I go to Vegas, and I've been several times for conventions, back when my old network could actually afford to send people have conventions.
Yeah.
I was a foodie. I was going there to eat. And they got even more there now. Yeah, I'm not going to see Wayne Newton, but I'll go over there and I'll go to the steakhouse.
Nurse Court and all you LSU fans, I'll buy you a cocktail. September 1, 2024, announced today on a Sunday night, 6:30 on ABC. Put it in your phone right now. And oh, by the way,
that's a great stadium.
Raider Stadium where they're playing. But a little tidbit, I got this from a couple people. If you're going to follow LSU at Missouri this year, you better start looking at hotel rooms and airfare. It is not easy to get there. And so if you want to travel and go see them on the road at Missouri, you better start working on those details right now.
What's the word on that trip?
It's not easy to get to. You fly into either St. Louis or Kansas City, you got to rent a car. It's just... It's not normal. And, oh, by the way, it doesn't look like an SEC stadium comparison to the other big boys.
Bill Frere, who's next to committing? That's a good question. I don't know that I have an idea on that. I mean, Kalaj Cobbins committing this early kind of was a shocker to me. I don't have an answer for that, Bill, but I think they're going to come pretty steady. Remember last year we were like, man, when are they going to start getting commitments? And people were getting worried. And next thing you know, the recruiting class was almost done by Labor Day. And so it's going to come in a hurry. Because at this point, they know their 24 class for the most part and who they're eyeballing. It's just a matter of moving guys around if they lose a top flight guy to another top flight school. But in the coming months, it's really a lot of it's going to be about 25. I mean, that's how far ahead they are.
Which is what I got to ask you. Now, first of all, folks, if you hadn't kept up with the interviews and Hurley chronicling what he was over here for about 4 or 5 days, almost a week, incredible, unprecedented for a freshman. I never remember a kid doing that. But I got to ask you, they made a lot of headway with this big-time 25 quarterback. You know Hurley's going to be here.
Bryce Underwood.
Is that going to impact his recruiting, in your opinion?
I don't think so.
Hurley being here.
You've got to sign a great one every year.
Okay.
What's fantastic is, you know, a lot of people upset about Walker Howard leaving and all that, but they continue to sign one great guy every year.
Absolutely.
And so, and that's how it's going to work out. And then you're going to get to a point where some guy isn't what you think he is, or another guy departs, and then maybe somewhere in there you've got a sandwich in a transfer. And I think that's going to be the way your quarterback position is going to rotate from here on out.
But you hear it more than ever before, folks. Of course, no disrespect to anybody before, but let's be honest. They are doing a hell of a job recruiting quarterbacks, and I think that the days of LSU struggling with legitimate – the question is with NIL and everybody wanting to play so early, once you get them here, how do you keep them here and everybody be happy? So, but look – that 25 prospect is very impressive, and I don't think we can say enough about Hurley right now.
Bruce Steele with a super chat. Thank you, Bruce. He goes, now that Womack is probably moving to SE, LSU must get Simmons from Texas to play Jack. And I think LSU's in a good spot with Simmons, but everybody wants him. But I like where LSU sits with him. You know, there's one thing that I'm also seeing out there, and congrats to Jordan Arsenal as well for getting that promotion a few days ago. Well deserved. Mm-hmm. This staff is doing a bang-up job, and I have seen nothing at all. A lot of people this time last year wringing their hands. Is LSU behind with NIL money? And maybe they were behind as far as being organized. But I've seen nothing that leads me to believe LSU is going to lose anybody for NIL. Or they're behind on anybody. Now, are they behind with a few kids maybe because they were late to offer? That can happen. You know, you got the big kid at Acadiana High School. And so we'll see how that plays out. You're going to battle Alabama there.
Just remind everybody, John Jancic came over. He is a well-respected defensive coach. And he is going to be coaching the guys from the edge and helping out there. And let me tell you something. I know you don't know Ovi or Gofu right now. And, you know, we talked about, obviously, 35, Savion Jones. This is his money year. But I think when you get everybody back from injuries in fall camp, you're not going to see it in the spring. When you get all these guys back, LSU is going to have plenty of pressure from the edge. It gives Mount House a little more flexibility on what he does with his corners and Harold Perkins.
Bart Smokey says, I'm already deposited for Vegas. Wow. That's a long way out. I wonder what kind of cheap airfare you can get right now if you book it this far in advance.
By the way, Bart, a classy guy, and as we know with the crazy market trends that we've had in the last year or two, give him a call along with his brother, and they do a great job of sponsoring us on the practice report. We're back out there next Tuesday, and we'll give you a good one next Tuesday.
Yeah, give Bart or Brian a call at the Smokey Investment Team, and we thank him for sponsoring our practice reports. And thanks again, Bruce and Kenny, for those super chats, big time. Carl the Cat Dunn, can't wait to see how special teams will improve. That's going to be a position. You know, does this work out? Having it be done by committee. We know Matt House was really pushing to have a guy who could help coach outside linebackers or edge rushers, and that won out. And then they're going to have analysts that help coach different facets. We'll see.
Carl the Cat, one of the greatest LSU fans in the last 40 or 50 years. Young man, well, we all have to act like
he's
we're young.
Moved up in the off season.
He is sponsored by Coca-Cola with his message tonight, and Carl understands that. But how cool would that be for Carl the Cat to see him in Vegas when LSU? Look, I'm fired up about this game now. I don't know if I'll still be in the media and have a gig going, but I'm going to go to that ball game in Vegas, and I want to see if Lincoln Riley is going to, once again, have Sharman sponsor his defense. And let's be honest.
I mean, is there a bigger road game than this one? Like, I mean, people were excited about going to Green Bay. But I mean, what are some of the other big non-conference games. You went to the one in Green Bay.
Yeah, that was a bucket list trip. Thank you, Jim Dummigan.
And was that what you thought it was going to be?
The trip was fantastic except for the 4 hours of the game.
Well, thank you, Les.
Well,
I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. I know anytime else.
Washington and Seattle, a lot of people went over there and enjoyed that. But look, speaking of road games, you got to go.
There's a lot of LSU fans I know that go on all those road trips, and most of them will tell you that they think the trip to Lexington is the best one of all.
Sure. Whiskey, horses.
I mean, just everything you do around the game and how pretty it is up there.
It's going to be a lot of fun. But, of course, this upcoming year at Orlando, once again, Camping World Stadium, where they finished and played Purdue in the bowl game. And then at Alabama. This is going to be a hell of a build-up. They got a new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, going to have a new quarterback. But they've recruited really good for the last 6 or 7 years. And Nick is not going to lose a step. That being said, man, could you see LSU going over there and pulling the upset again and beating him 2 years in a row? Wow, that would be something. That being said, you and I talked about it. Georgia's going to have to really stumble and mess up not to win the East.
Their schedule is
it's a joke.
It's whenever you have an SEC schedule, you think it's tough, but as tough as we see SEC schedules, I've never seen one so laid out so well for them.
Yeah,
I don't. It's just amazing. All right, guys. You know why we're here each and every week, and it's because our good friends and our relationship with Pride Roofing, who sponsor this show each and every week. Let's hear from Mike and Alex.
Hi, I'm Michael.
I'm Alex.
At Pride Roofing, we handle commercial and residential work.
TPO, shingle, and metal inventory.
We got it. Property still in disarray from the recent hurricanes and hailstorms. Insurance claims?
No problem. But Pride Roofing is the official roofer at TigerBait.com.
In fact, notify TigerBait and we'll give you a free roof inspection. And on top of that, you get a free year subscription. Call 855-PRIDE-16. Se habla español.
There they are, Mike Faraday, Alex Martinez, the best people out there when it comes to roofing and who you want to talk to and deal with. Right there in Albany, Louisiana, Mike Faraday, a Broadmoor High and LSU grad. I grew up with him right there in Sherwood Forest, known his family my entire life. And you can't deal with better people. Anywhere in South Louisiana, give them a call, 855-PRIDE-16. Any type of roof, commercial or residential, they've got you covered. And they're the best in the business. A lot of competition out there. And like Buddy always says, they'll sharpen their pencil if it's a bid situation or they've got to get competitive.
Tonight I want to tell you about Pride in this regard. So obviously the name means something, but they care. And when you say somebody in business now cares, you better latch on to them. They care about the roof over your head just as much as the roof over theirs. You don't believe that? They were fixing people's roof. What storm was that? Was that Rita or whatever? I mean, they give it back to the community. Metal roofs are incredibly hot right now. Whatever you need, always a free roofing inspection. But I don't know about you, because I freak out every time I go to the grocery store and everything's going up. They will sharpen the pencil, make it right for you, but they care, and they care about you. Give them an opportunity. Once again, Jorge Martinez in Baton Rouge on Government Street, 275-2041. Anywhere else, 855-PRIDE-16. Official sponsors of both TigerBait.com and Buddy Sports Talk. We believe in these guys. We take pride in them sponsoring the show. You'll take pride in the job they do for you.
Absolutely. All right, guys, let's scroll up and get some of these comments. Again, if you're enjoying the show, do us a favor. Hit the like button and share it to your social media. Let your fellow LSU buddies know about the show and share it to your Facebook. Retweet us, the whole works. Much appreciate you guys spreading the word about TigerBait live and TigerBait.com. Go Tiger says Jerry Roll was a good one. Brandon Reese, it'll be impressive if LSU managed to win both LA games when only lose like one game the whole year.
Hey, I got to tell you something, man. That one of those Dallas games that was so cool in Jerry's Palace was when LSU played Oregon and LSU had all that speed on defense. but the people of Oregon are these big, tall lumberjacks, and then you have the shorter stature coonasses that are drinking and partying and eating and talking smack. But man, that was a hell of a game, and Dallas has been good.
And well, the other one was basically Tyrann Matthews' coming out party. The Cotton Bowl,
Texas A&M
is a freshman. Texas A&M wasn't in the league yet, and that sideways interception he reached out for. There's been a lot of great games in a lot of different venues, but I think Las Vegas is going to have a little extra sauce on it for a lot of fans that want to go or that don't travel that much. It's just going to be that added deal. An NFL stadium. I remember watching the time lapse video of it being built.
Oh yeah, it's cool.
And all the wiring they did. Cox is behind it with interactivity and for the fans, which is a lot of stuff I know Scott Woodward wants to try and do at LSU.
I don't know how many tickets they will get to that game. I really think LSU could sell 40 or 50,000 to that game. By the way, Carl the Cat, if you're there, I will buy you a steak as long as you don't put bourbon or ketchup on it.
Well, there's some great steakhouses there,
Oh, yeah.
If I go, I'm hitting 2 or 3 of them. Brandon Reese, ESPN won't want that LSU-USC game canceled. They know that game will draw a lot of TV ratings. Look, they like LSU on Sunday nights, don't they?
ABC, man, they got to be loving it.
Yeah.
So, Sunday night again, Florida State.
But how many of those do you do going forward when you start adding a 9-game SEC schedule? We saw that Rice has been kicked down the road.
Yeah.
Now I like seeing if you're going to go to a 9-game schedule and Rice is going to be with that, you need a couple, 2 or 3 Rices.
You'll have a big time game like Florida State this year or USC in 24, and then 2 cupcakes.
And then
9 scheduled games.
And if you go 10-2, it doesn't matter because you're going to have an expanded playoff, and when you play a schedule like that, you're going to get the credit.
No doubt.
So that's all fine and good. But that's always what we've been debating. Going to a 9-game schedule and getting rid of Alabama. Having Tennessee that wasn't playing so good. Now Tennessee's playing good, and that's their common opponent, and Saban doesn't like it.
No, Saban don't like it, but you asked him the question, and he said it basically that LSU what they would be playing, and you kind of asked him, and he verified it. Look, Alabama LSU is just too big of money with the ratings and the sponsors not to have that game every year. And quite frankly, I like it now that Brian Kelly's here. Now, if you had an inferiority coach, you wouldn't want to see it. But I like that challenge.
Well, if the playoffs were never going to be expanded, you wouldn't like it. But if it's going to be expanded, he knows that. I mean, it's going to, if it goes to 12 teams, I mean, you could be play a schedule like LSU played last year and maybe have 3 losses and get in.
And I think they've been trying to make LSU A&M a rivalry, so that's why they're also in that threesome along with Ole Miss. Go to hell, Ole Miss, and how long is Lane Kiffin going to be at Ole Miss? And this is going to be an interesting year this year.
Man, the way they collapsed last year.
I mean, if he ever gets the defense with his offensive potential, they will be another top 10, top 15. Hell, they were undefeated when they came into play.
And then the pressure now with Hugh Freeze at Auburn.
Yeah, that's going to be – look, folks, this conference
that's kind of like Matt McMahon having Will Wade up the road, but it's not in the same conference.
Oh, man, look. This SEC West is incredibly tough, and look at the array of coaches. It's not even close to anybody ever having a division close to that.
All right, I tell you what, I'm going to do this now. Let's talk about it. Earlier this evening, Buddy was out at Tiger Stadium, and let me show you this. He was there. Jacques Doucet was there, and I got a side by side of the swings. And Buddy was like, "Man, don't show that." And but look, this is all fun. Jacques Doucet on the left, you see it on the screen. Buddy on the right. And when I first saw those pictures, my stomach dropped because. And Buddy said it, man. Yeah, you lose your balance. Somebody's going off the edge there. There's no guardrail, but look at that. And this is what they're shooting at. Here's another picture of the way they've got it diagrammed in Tiger Stadium. And Buddy enjoyed it. Jacques Doucet enjoyed it. I know a lot of other media guys are out there. And this is going to be going on for, what, 3 days, Buddy?
Yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Look, Michael Wiggins is the guy. He is a Maryland fan. He's from Washington, D.C. We talk football, and guess what he tells me? He says Mason Lunsford, who's coming over from Maryland, is a hell of a player, going to give you really good depth on the offensive line, 6'7", 305 coming in, got 2 more years. I'm sure they're going to look at him inside. He's played tackle before, but Michael Wiggins, a really, really classy guy. You can go to the LSU website or go to Stadium Golf website to find out the details. Look, I talked afterwards, and look, I'm not going to mince any words. I'm a little out of shape right now, and I haven't played much golf. The kidney stone reared its ugly head, so quite frankly,
Well,
I suck today.
It's not like we don't have
But
film.
the elevation and the swing, I'm right this. You got to be out here with the shot on that thing. But I used to be able to play, but you know what? This is a rude awakening for me. I got to get in better shape, and come August, you're going to see a leaner Buddy on this show, if I'm still around.
Well, how many people were out there? Who else? Who was in the media at the time?
Ron Higgins, and you know, me and Ron are 60 plus, and we did mention this. Folks, you would walk up. I had to walk about a mile to get there, and then you literally were walking up the stadium, and you guys know how big Tiger Stadium is, and this kidney stone, but it was scenic, it was awesome. It was very hard to judge on elevation. 130-yard hole, probably plays like 90 or 100, but it is something that you need to look into if you're a golfer. And
Well, they're not booked up. You can still get in, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Nurse Court says, I want to do that. You still got time to do it, unless you can't drive down.
Go to the LSUsports.net website, and they have all the details. But
Is it expensive?
I think about $100, and you can get other packages. There's driving range. There's all kinds of
And
things.
heck, you go to Top Golf, how much you spending?
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is worth its money, but it kicked my butt, and thank God it wasn't filmed because I looked like hell.
Well, Buddy was saying, man, look at my back. Man, we ain't breaking down backswings. I don't even know that Jacques ever plays golf.
Well, I haven't played in a couple of years, but I thought I'd be able to.
I just know I'd
hit
swing and whiff and go tumbling off the edge.
Hey, look, but it is a unique idea, and this was a bucket list. I always fantasized and wanted to hit a pitching wedge off the turf at Tiger Stadium. The difference is, Mike, they made us walk a half a mile up to hit down on Tiger Stadium. Oh, by the way, don't worry, it's not going to bother the field. So last year,
that looks like it's mowed, huh?
Oh yeah,
Or is that black paint?
Yeah, the field is going to be plush this year, folks.
It looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because we're just we're a month away from the spring game.
Yeah.
Just about.
Yeah, 5 weeks.
All right, guys, let's get to some more of your comments.
Hey, message in if you want to know some little tidbits about some of these new players. Ask us about Denver Harris, which we just got a cup of coffee to see 20 minutes, but I did note he was running with the 2s and the 3s. As I mentioned, Javion Toviano, the big-time freshman coming in, I predicted he'll be a captain before he leaves here. At one corner, J.K. Johnson, the other transfer from Ohio State. Seven Banks, of course, went pro. J.K. Johnson at the other corner. Sage Ryan looked good, looked a little bit bigger. People hoping a better year out of him. Greg Brooks, Major Burns. Obviously, Omar Spates was running second. Greg Penn and Harold Perkins at inside, and a lot of injuries on the D-line. But, man, when you get everybody back, this defense is going to have a lot of potential. They're going to play a lot of players.
Michael B. Buddy, you had that graphite bent so with some power in there. I hate kidney stones, had my share of them.
You know, I don't want to make this personal, but I have not been doing too much other than as far as the golf goes, and I do have a 3.5 centimeter on one side, and unfortunately it reared its ugly head. I tried to make it, but dude, this was a lot of walking. When's the last time you walking all the way to the top of the stadium for the most part, and then you're hitting down, then you got to walk it.
Well, last spring when we went indoors and we had to climb up the stairs and get up on the catwalk after I'd parked too far away, parked almost near the softball stadium, and I was late and I had to hightail it to get into practice on time. And when I got up them stairs, man, I thought I was going to die. And it was like, all right, I got to trim out the Diet Cokes and drink some more water. But yeah, Chad Spillers, who will lead at running back? Well, Josh Williams obviously isn't out there this spring, still rehabilitating. But I think he's going to be your number one guy. And Emery not out there, of course. Brian Kelly said last week he's got some targeted little points that he's got to reach in order to be in standing. And, of course, you got Trey Holly out there, who I thought he looked really good in the video I shot. And Noah Kane. And then you get Caleb Jackson. Who am I missing? Armani Goodwin.
And of course,
They got a they got a big group. when everybody's there and plugged in.
Here's what I think's going on with John Emery, and this is just my opinion, so don't beat me up if I'm wrong. You have to accumulate a number of hours as you go through school. He has had so many problems academic. I think he's got to finish LSU and graduate with his class load to be able to be eligible. If you noticed, Brian Kelly said adamantly, we're not talking to him until he gets it done and graduates from the academic side. That's got to happen before football. I think he's got
and that's NCAA numbers.
And so I think he's got to accomplish that, and who knows whether he has. Trey Holly is going to be fantastic. It reminds me a little bit of Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and we know that's a hell of a comparison. Armani Goodwin, man, can this guy get a break? He's always been injured, but he loves when he puts his foot in the ground. When he had his health and wasn't banged up, he's got some jets, man. He's good. You like Caleb Jackson as a big back coming in. Noah Kane is the guy nobody talks about. He's not the sexiest guy. He had double-digit rushing touchdowns for LSU. And Josh Williams is the kid.
Because Caleb Jackson, and he got a bad start last year at the state track meet. I was out there,
right,
outdoor meet, and he's a legit. He could run a 10.4, 10.5, 100 meters with a great start.
But Josh Williams will be the bell cow. But look, do not expect a lot from the running backs in the spring game. But here's the thing I think moving forward, Mike. When is LSU going to get the next running back that can take it to the house on any given play? Watching all that football that we do, everybody's got breakaway running backs. I think they need to lock in on that in the coming years. And they got 3 good ones coming up, don't they?
Yep. Preston Guy says, great comparison, buddy. Clyde, very similar in style to Trey Holly.
We'll see if Trey Holly ends up being as rich as Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who obviously was part of that World Championship team this year. Hey, man, when you win a state championship in high school and a national championship in college and the Super Bowl, that's a blessed life.
Guys, hit that like button if you're enjoying the show. And how many of you have gotten your tickets for the women's, the 2 games in Baton Rouge, the Baton Rouge Regional? How many of you guys and gals are heading there for that one? We talked about it a little bit earlier in the show. Of course, Hawaii, we'll see what happens between Miami, Michigan, and UNLV. I think Michigan's a pretty darn good team. LSU's going to have to come to play, but I think at the next Greensboro 2, whatever it is, they're going to need Carson. They're going to need Flaugier and Alexis to do what she normally does. I think all 3 of those guards, because Indiana is guard driven, and that's going to be a problem.
If the seeds hold true to form, LSU will take care of business. I'm hoping to see if they can sell it out Sunday. I think with the Friday afternoon and some people going to A&M for the baseball and softball.
But I think they're saying Hawaii might be sold out.
Yeah, well, I'm saying that both those games could possibly.
And that's a big deal because last year they sold out, but Jackson State came in big. That Jackson State game, you guys hear me say it all the time. I think that was the best game in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Just crowd-wise.
Tennessee this year was pretty good, too, because that was a sellout as well. But, look, if they take care of business and make it to Sweet 16, if the seeds hold true, they play Utah in the Sweet 16, and, of course, getting it to the Elite 8, they would play probably, as you mentioned, Indiana. Unless there's upsets. I think there's less upsets in men's top seeds losing than the men's.
I like the bracket.
I like the bracket. LSU's in a good bracket. But next year, there's no doubt, in my opinion, you're talking about an appreciably better and deeper basketball team. For the women, that is.
Did you get to listen to any of Jay Johnson from today?
I did.
Jay Johnson, we've got that on the front page of TigerBait. Of course, it's on our YouTube channel. I've got that full press conference loaded up, and some great interviews too. We had a couple of I like how they're bringing out different players. They give us 2 or 3 each week, and I really enjoyed Paxton Kling and Nate Ackenhausen. Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Ackenhausen. I think Cobble asked him how to pronounce it, and I've been saying it right. But 2 more super kids. Every one of these kids are super people. So Jay Johnson's not only recruiting great baseball players, but a lot of super kids who are happy to be in Baton Rouge.
Well, look, we love Cobbs and we love all of our media people. We always have fun. But Paxton Kling, I was told this before the season started. He was compared favorably to Dylan Cruz. That's how good this guy can be. Just like Dylan Cruz can do it all. Hit for power, arm, run, the whole 9 yards, play defense. So LSU very, very fortunate. And I think the best thing that people are sleeping on is what Wes Johnson is doing. I mean, seriously, 6 shutouts already? Shark. When's the last time LSU had 6 shutouts in a whole season? It's not happening. I understand the competition has been a little bit, I think their strength of schedule is in the hundreds, but that all being said, a lot of fun times. And you know, when you have good pitching every night, that keeps you in every ball game.
Kling was talking about his high school. Did you hear that part of it?
I did not.
I think they ruled everybody on their schedule until their state championship game. Is that crazy?
Yeah, he is classy, and he is a future star at LSU. But Jared Jones is as well. So is Ethan Fry. So is Brady Neal. I mean, we go on, and all these freshmen are good enough to be playing, Mike, with the likes of Trey Markin, Gavin Dukas, Dylan Cruz. I mean, you go on and on and on. Jordan Thompson, who's only made 1 error so far. So, good time to be a Tiger baseball fan.
Huey Lipsy with a super chat. Big thanks, Huey, for that. Hey, guys, it's a great time to be a Tiger fan. Y'all hit that like button. Absolutely. Thank y'all for doing that each and every week. Again, YouTube, their little algorithm, when they see likes, it helps us move into more of the recommended videos of the same topic. If people do a search for LSU sports, whatever it is. The Kim Mulkey, I'm still amazed by it. I was telling Buddy, I think her Sunday night press conference, that thing's over 20,000 views. I mean, Brian Kelly on Thursday is like 6,000 or 7,000. I mean, she's just a draw, and the views are coming from all over the country. The fans that tune in for her is something else.
Hey, let me just say something real quick. We'll get to more. But you know, you made a comment.
Thank you, Huey.
That she likes to undersell and over or produce or whatever. But Kim Mulkey was telling the truth with that press conference. If you followed LSU this year, the women, you know Angel Reese is a first-team All-American. You know that Lex Luthor, a.k.a. Alexis Morris, is the straw that stirs the drink. You know Williams has had a good season. But you know that if you double Angel Reese and you get in foul trouble with 2 fouls in the first half, she sits. LSU's not as deep as you want to be. Kateri Poole's played a lot. She's had her moments. Poa, who you and I both like, had her moments. Samaya Smith, to me, has gotten good. But they're not even close to scratching the surface.
I think Poa should play a little bit more.
Look, I do too, but when you look at Carolina, Mike, they got 11 or 12 that can play. LSU is a year away. So my point to you is this. She was just telling the media, look, I want to win every game. But if you think we should be in the Final Four in year 2, get a grip.
See, but if it happens, it's gravy.
But she's being a realist.
But I think most people think Elite 8. I mean, look at where they've come from.
Yeah.
But it's not a done foregone conclusion that Indiana's much more.
No, exactly. I mean, they could get there, but I think the point of it is.
But you have to have all those guards producing.
But she understands Baton Rouge, and this is what's going to carry over. If they expect Mulkey to make Final Four in year 2, what do you think the expectations are going to be for Brian Kelly come about August the 30th? Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be through the roof.
Chance Babin, I hate that Kling and Jones are both draft eligible sophomores. It's a good problem to have, though.
Yeah, and look, when a kid comes in 19, it's all about being 21 at a particular date. But you know what? Just enjoy him right now. Trust me, the way Jay Johnson is recruiting, you got a guy, Ethan Fry, who hasn't scratched the surface yet, but they think he's going to be a great one. And look, baseball, I don't have any problems with them not recruiting after he had number one recruits and number one transfer.
Nurse Court, is that for the women's game? She says still have upper level tickets available. Numbers are dwindling. Is that for the women's games?
Yeah.
Let us know. All right, let me scroll up and see here. Man, you're getting some health tips here. Michael B. Buddy, I have no affiliation, but try Renovive to help dissolve those kidney stones. Most painful thing men can have chronically, and I have them.
Thank you so much. I will watch the tape and.
Yeah, there you go. Go see Nacho and ask for a script.
No, well, I'll see Dr. Vic.
There you go.
Dr. Stephen Vic, and he takes care of me. All my doctors take care of me. So, but yeah, he doesn't like to be called Nacho, but Dr. Joseph Albergamo, one of the best doctors in the South.
Yeah, yeah. She says that's women basketball. Yeah, get those tickets, man. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I got LSU beating Hawaii. Big. I think that they'll send a message. They're rested.
I wonder how many people they bring.
Hawaii?
Yeah, 30?
Probably.
We're going to have all that coverage for you tomorrow on TigerBait. So we're going to bring you a lot of women's coverage in the next 4 days. All right, guys. It's where we are at. Okay, here it is. Tiger fans, you want to show your LSU Tiger pride? Alumni Hall is your ultimate shopping experience. The best and largest selection of apparel for the whole family. Nike, Nike Golf, Champion, Columbia, Peter Miler, Southern Tide, hats, Yeti, gifts, and accessories. LSU students, faculty, and military receive 10% off in-store every day, and you can earn cash back with their Hall Pass rewards. Alumni Hall, located in Perkins Row, or anytime at alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, where Tiger fans shop. And if you're an LSU fan, they've got all the gear. I was on their website earlier today. They've got some new LSU baseball shirts. They got some great new Cutter and Buck polos. They've got a lot of great new items. They've got all the LSU jerseys. No matter what color you want, they've got them. It looks like the gold ones are still the number one seller. But the white ones are right there behind it. So, speaking of that, buddy, you know the original gray that Chad Auger and them wore? I like those old gray ones.
Oh, man.
We don't,
what a bulldog of a picture.
Where did
Chad
those
Auger.
go? Where did those jerseys go?
Look, I have that T-shirt that I'm going to cut off and give to Nurse Court. Chicks dig the long ball. When they get hot with the long ball. Now, don't expect a lot of home runs. We don't know which way the wind is going to be blowing. Kendall Rogers, of course, was he an alumnus or just a fan of A&M?
No, he's an alumnus.
Okay.
But he's the guy. D1 baseball.
And he's very objective. But you can tell he wants A&M to win invariably.
I think he was there as a young kid, the Ben McDonald.
Oh, wow.
And all that on the Monday.
That's awesome.
But, yeah, no, he's I've known Kendall for 20 years, and what he's done in building D1 baseball is phenomenal. He'll be there, and I know him and his group are going to be in town for the Tennessee series. And it's just amazing how much they've grown that. I mean, for them to sponsor that Round Rock deal, I know some people had some login troubles, and I think a lot of that got remedied, but kudos to him and that whole group over there.
Yeah, I think that people sometimes expect it. And look, Mike, we are in that very interesting parallel where, let's be honest, nobody wants to pay to see their Tigers play. But as we evolve into the digital and all the ways that we watch and streaming and everything else, sometimes, Jumbo Network did a great job. You don't have that anymore. So my point is that give him credit for trying to bring that too. You're going to have some kinks, just like you're having kinks with the stadium golf. It's not going to be perfect the first time, but they're going to learn and they give you a great product. But, man, before long, there's going to be some things that you have to pay for that we get free. And, I hope.
Oh, yeah, it's happening already. Paramount Plus for this one, AMC Plus for that one. Netflix, Amazon
Thursday Night
Prime.
Football, yeah, Amazon Prime.
It's like you're getting a la carte to death, and a lot of people drop Cox and they drop this, that, and then they're finding out now once they start doing everything a la carte, they're paying twice as much as they did before. So
Cox gave you a discount.
Yeah,
okay.
nice try cutting the cord. And you start. It starts to add up. Disney Plus, all the Star Wars guys wanting to see all those shows.
But my point was that Kendall and them are first-rate, straight-up people, and once again, like Pride Roofing, they care. I know that there was some feedback, but he tried to fix every problem, and I was fortunate to have my satellite pirate, where I was able to somehow.
My dad had one of the original satellites, the big ones, like the big 18-footer in the backyard, back in the old school. Carl the Cat Dunn says Hawaii will taste the rainbow Friday. Tigers by a lot. Kevin Ray says I'm enjoying LSU baseball right now, and Carl the Cat adds it's been a long time that LSU looked this good in non-conference games before SEC.
I'm thinking.
I don't remember it ever being this one-sided.
No, never. I don't even remember 6 shutouts, but I think Carl the Cat. We either went on the bus, I forgot how he got there, but he went all the way up to Omaha and back, not driving and flying. And that goes to show you the kind of quality guy he is and the fan that he is. But, Mike, you know who's pulling for LSU this year, huh?
Who's that?
The city of Omaha. We're talking about doubling your money, doubling your fun, doubling your love of life, your jambalaya, your booze, all the things that the Tiger Nation, you could see.
They more than double their receipts when LSU's in town.
But Mississippi State won it 2 years ago. Mike Bianco and Ole Miss got off the snide and won it last year. How cool would it be to see LSU over there once again packing the stadium and taking home the
Well, it sure looked last year, and I've seen Ben McDonald. I bet he said it on your show how many times. I saw him on his Jacques Talk saying, Tennessee looked like they were unbeatable last year, and look what happened to them.
Yeah.
And so
they're coming into
that's baseball.
They're coming into Baton Rouge in about 17, 18 days. So
yeah, Carl the Cat said, "Yeah, buddy, Greyhound bus in 2000."
Wow, 23 years ago, this man took a Greyhound bus.
I don't even want to know how long that took. With all the stops Greyhound makes.
That's why you're the fan you are, Carl the Cat. Even though I mess with you.
Yep. Bart Smokey, rants said on radio 100% LSU to Omaha.
Oh, gosh, man, what a prediction.
I think a lot of people think that.
Yeah, come on. They're going to get to Omaha. The question is, are they going to peak at the right time and win this puppy?
Let's see what else, guys. I'm going to scroll down. Anything else you want to add? Softball, baseball, basketball. Of course, we're got a little lull here in spring football. They'll crank it back up next week. So, and then when that happens, there's going to be a lot more recruiting coming your way. So, I like where LSU's at in football recruiting right now. I really do. I like it at all the positions, and I particularly, and I keep saying it, I really like the offensive line recruiting out of state. Brad Davis and Bobby and everybody in the recruiting office, they're doing a fantastic job with the caliber of the recruits that are coming from out of state, from all over the country. Michigan, St. Louis, Georgia, all parts of Texas, Florida. Having that 7-on-7 tournament in New Orleans last weekend and having all those kids roll in early so you could have them on Thursday and Friday. Having Colin Hurley there all last week and having him, a guy who's one of those Pied Piper recruiters, a personality that's very similar to Russell Shepard back in the day.
Yeah.
A guy that's very vocal and happy-go-lucky, and he's going to be a boon to the LSU staff and helping to get kids in the fold.
And here's what makes you so happy about recruiting. David Stone, Dominic McKinley, 2 5-stars. Jamar Kane, everybody knows he's got to bring in some studs on the D-line. But every big time, and you saw it with the quarterback in 2025, it is so detailed. It is so organized. It is, okay, this is what we see you doing, and this is how you fit at LSU. And oh, by the way, your academics are going to be important, and we're going to work on your body, and we're going to work on this and that. This is so organized compared that, and I forget who it was, him and his family came in here. It might have been the family of David Stone. And the daddy said, man, it blew us away because we didn't stop. Oh, by the way, best food in the world. Oh, by the way, Tiger Stadium is reliving and earning that reputation of the heyday. That was a big game for the reputation of Tiger Stadium, beating Alabama. And that is all coming back, and they're parlaying into this. Look at what the quarterback.
There was no better regular season game in college football than that one last year.
But I'm saying the whole package is there, and that's why you're going to see this team ascend to the top of the SEC. Obviously, we know that 2024, Mike, if Rance said, I tell you what, Roddy Rance said they're going to go to Omaha this year. I'm going to one-up him and say LSU will be in the CFP in 2024. Of course, there'll be 12 teams. They will be there.
Hal Jubin, Mike, do you cover men's basketball recruiting at all? There's a few names that I'm following. I want to have some sort of piece next week. Tune in to TigerBait. But high school recruiting is easier than transfer portal recruiting as far as from a media standpoint covering it. And so, but I hope to have something next week. There's like 3 or 4 guys that I know of right now that I'm following.
By the way, there are some overtures. Of course, it's just early talk that there could be a 6'6" shooting guard. Well, I don't want to throw his name out there because he's still playing for Vandy, but he's from Baton Rouge. And this is a beautiful thing, Mike, with the grad transfer. You can come over here, get a little NIL deal, get it done, Gordon, and come over here and play his last year in Baton Rouge. So you're going to have some stopgap recruits coming in here. You're going to have some guys that have played. Unfortunately, the Murray State guys, other than KJ Williams, just did not live up to the billing.
All right, guys, if you enjoyed the show, hit the like button, share. Go to TigerBait.com after this show's over with and try us out for $1. We've got a lot of premium content. I've got a half a dozen recruiting updates in my inbox that we're going to be rolling out. I've got to get them out tomorrow, the whole day tomorrow, between women's basketball coverage and football recruiting. It's going to be a big day on TigerBait. And try us out for $1. We've got a lot coming your way on our premium side. And hit the subscribe button, notification bell, and good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks to Buddy Songy for being here with me.